social mobilization.
Got it. Thank you. We are the family,
The mighty, mighty family.
the mighty, mighty families,
Mighty, mighty families.
Mighty, mighty family.
the mighty, mighty families. For our people.
One,
Two,
A little bit louder.
three,
A living wage
for our people.
one,
We are the people.
Two,
A little bit louder.
three,
A living wage
for our people. One,
We are the people.
two,
A little bit louder.
three,
A living wage
for our people.
one,
We are the people.
Two,
A little bit louder.
three,
A living wage for our people.
one,
We are the people.
two,
A little bit louder.
three,
A living wage
for our...
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think it's still morning. I'd like to just welcome all of you to your capital. And remember, this is your capital. We come here and we work for you. At least that's what we're supposed to do. Now, sometimes there are those who forget who sent them.
That's right.
And I want you to remind them that you sent them and let them know what the things are that you'd like to see them do. It concerns me that the equal pay bill died to an extent, but it had been mutilated. You know what mutilated is? Well, by the time they got through working on the amendment that I didn't really recognize it myself. But I'm sure that we're going to be able to find some other places that we can make sure that women begin to get what they deserve. We deserve being paid because we work just like they're being paid for what they work. So I ask you to make sure that you get in touch with your legislator. Let him or her know your feelings as it relates to that. But I agree with the speakers before me. We need more women in the legislature. Women have a way of thinking differently than how the boys think. We think about what women need, most of us. And I just need you to send more people who think like Kathy Sykes and the other women who've been before you today. God bless and have a good day. And it's so good to see so many of my friends here. And I'll be working with you, looking to see what we can do to get more women elected. Thank you so much, guys.
Mississippi with the goal of electing more women to public office. So we're going to move this state off the bottom with the help of women. Okay. Well, hello everyone. This looks like such a great group, and I'm so glad to be here. We're up here today fighting for equal pay in the state Senate. Representative Alice Clark proposed an equal pay amendment, and the Senate let it die. And so we have some royalty over here as far as equal pay is concerned. We're starting Emerge Mississippi, which will be training Democratic women to run for public office. If you've seen the election results in Virginia, that was Emerge. So we're going to be training women all year long, every year, so that people can have a living wage and justice in this state.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people.
They're a mixed band of Shakta and Shiramacha, Takapa, Akola Pisa, and many other names of tribes that have been erased. I'm here today and so grateful to be with all of you. And also, I am not the only indigenous person coming from all corners of the United States. We have the Navajo Nation here. We have some Choctaw. We have our natives, Alaska natives coming from very, very far away. I wasn't supposed to talk, I didn't think. I just want to ground us for a minute in this beautiful place, these incredible trees, and the history that we don't see and we don't remember that's here. That we have been living under colonial mentality for too long, and that the extraction of land and labor is interconnected, and it has to be broken apart. We need jobs, yeah, but where I live in South Louisiana, you know, they've been promising progress with the petrochemical industry for a long, long time. And we know that those false promises of energy and progress have left us with side effects of Cancer Alley and waste pits, and we're all living at the bottom of the list, just like Mississippi. We have the worst, well, Mississippi's kind of at the bottom of the list. We're right above them. When it comes to education, when it comes to health, when it comes to poverty, we're at the top of the list too. So, yeah, jobs and a healthy environment go together. They're not separate. And we're Thank you.
It's great to be here.
New York in the house.
So from District Council 37 in New York City, that represents about 125,000 public sector workers. All right. This today is a historic moment.
Yeah.
It is historic because all of us in our beautiful diversity are here.
Yeah.
From Alaska to Florida, from Massachusetts to Maine to California, and we have come together here. We've come together to fight for environmental justice. We've come together to fight for a just transition for all workers, peoples, and communities. This is a historic moment because we're here in Jackson.
Yeah.
Because we're here to support the radical effort to remake this city, this state, and this society, and to create a more cooperative, sustainable, and equitable way of living together.
Yeah.
And this is a historic moment because just 2 days ago, there was an argument in the Supreme Court on the Janus versus AFSCME case that threatened public sector unions. It's a right-wing attack whereby they think that somehow it's okay that people could be represented by unions and have grievances and disciplinaries and contracts negotiated, but you know, they don't have to pay dues. It's okay. They can just freeload. That ain't right.
That ain't right.
It is not right. But we are going to fight back, right? We are going to, and we will fight back and redouble our efforts. We will redouble our efforts with all of us here fighting for environmental justice and for just transitions. We'll redouble our efforts here in Jackson and in Mississippi to fight for a new kind of society. And we will redouble our efforts in the unions to really get out there and organize and to join in this effort to remake this country of ours. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We have a slogan in the labor movement, which I came out of before I started the Mississippi Immigrant Rights Alliance, that we usually start rallies with. And I ask you, what time is it?
Union time.
What time is it?
Union time.
What time is it?
Union time.
And we're talking about workers. I wanted to give you a little story about Jackson, Mississippi. When the late Chokwe Lumumba was on the city council back in 2010, he got together with our legal project director, Patricia Ice, and they crafted an anti-racial profiling ordinance that also included prohibition of profiling of immigrants in the city of Jackson. And so what has happened is that Trump's Justice Department, Sessions and them, have sent letters to 29 cities that they perceive to be sanctuary cities. Does everybody know what a sanctuary city is? Yes! All right, and Jackson was the only Deep South city in the South that received one of those letters. And they asked the cities to stop enforcing their ordinances. And the response from Chokwe Lumumba, who is mayor of our city, was to get lost. Yeah! And they sent two letters. And I think this is important because Jackson has been in the leadership in the Deep South for a long, long time, whether it was in the civil rights movement that the people made here in Jackson, the marches in the 60s and so on, and the sit-ins, which you're all familiar with, but Jackson continues to make history, one in enacting the ordinance which was passed by the city council by a vote of 6-1, and basically the mayor has the support of the city council on this issue, so we're hanging tough. We just wanted to let you know that we're not going to take shit from the Trump administration.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Kimi Stout, President for Jackson Federation of Teachers and P&SRP's Local 4402 of American Federation of Teachers. Educators are overworked and underpaid, but everyone that has a career of any sort did so by learning, training under a teacher or an educator. Mississippi, we must go beyond just acknowledging that there's a problem with education and get real with the issue. Without an equitable education system, we cannot have sustainable living for the future. Thus, this is where we learn the true essence of life. We are all educators for life. What message are we giving those whom look up to us? That is our students, our children, our millennials. We must remember that we are given the endowed task of yielding our intellectual wisdom, as we're doing now, to others daily, as we're doing now. Thus, we must become the educators. We must educate our communities. This is beautiful today to see all of the unions coming together in solidarity. A living wage is a must in the state of Mississippi.
Okay, good morning everybody. Good morning. I'm Cassandra Welchel and I'm the director of the Mississippi Women's Economic Security Initiative. We've been pushing a real progressive agenda in the state of Mississippi to really center women in our policy debate. Women are important to the economy here in the state of Mississippi. And we want to be able to say women's voices matter, our economy matter to the state of Mississippi. We just was able to oppose HB 1241, which really was a preemption bill that would have prevented local municipalities from setting their own minimum wages, sick days, vacation days. And we said that's not okay because our women in the state of Mississippi and the local governments need to be able to control those wages. They need to be able to control what happens to those women that works for them. And so we were able to oppose that bill because of those restrictions. Inside of that bill was an equal pay amendment, and we support equal pay. But inside of this bill, it was not a good fit. And so we were able to oppose that, and we'll be coming back again next year to say women matter, and we want a true equal pay bill that's not tied in to a harmful bill that would do further harm to our women. In the state of Mississippi, and I'll close with this, Mississippi women make up half of the workforce here in the state, but yet they are 2/3 of the minimum wage earners. That is not okay. We got to lift up their wages so they'll be able to take care of their families and their kids.